So here's the interior of your bag with our 4-inch opening. Next, using only the interior, you're going to iron down the seams. On the side with the 4-inch gap, only iron until you get to the start of the gap. Now we're going to take those corner squares that we cut and we're going to fold them together so that the seams match up. Here you can see how I have the seams together so they're lined up. You'll take that and then you'll pin it or clip it and hold it into place. Then you'll take it to your sewing machine and you will stitch across there, making sure to lock it on each end. Moving to your exterior fabric, you will not iron this as it'll melt, and you will do the same thing as you did to the interior, then taking your time and stitching across, making sure to backtrack. Moving on to the handles, cut your handle fabric in half, making sure it's the right length, and then measuring 4 inches in from each side seam, you will place your handles, being sure to put one handle on each side. When you pinch the fabric together, once they're pinned, you can see here that they line up opposite of each other. Next, take your exterior fabric, fold it in half, and put it right side into the interior fabric. So the right side of your outside fabric and the right side of your interior will be together, as you can see in this picture here. Next, line up your side seams so that you can pin them together, pinning one side and then go to the other side and pin there. And then working from your outside pin seams, you'll gather together the rest of the bags and put the bag pieces and put them together, pinning the entire way around. Because we left that 4-inch gap on the interior fabric, we can now stitch the entire top of these two fabrics closed. So insert it on your sewing machine and stitch the entire way around, being sure to back up and stitch it to lock it. Remember that 4-inch gap we left? Now we're going to put your hand into the bag and pull out the pins that are holding the 4 ends of the straps. This will make it easier to turn. So once you have your 4 pins out, the next step will be to place your hand back in and begin to slowly pull the bag out. You don't want to pull too fast because you don't want to rip the seams on your interior. Now that you have it inside out the right way, you can stick your lining back into the exterior. Take time to very carefully iron the edges. Be careful not to get too close to your handles or the iron will melt the handles. Taking the time just to roll the fabric so that you have a nice smooth edge. Now, taking your fabric back to the sewing machine, you will create a nice top stitch around the entire top, making sure to lock your stitches. Be very careful that you know where your handles are when you're doing this, so you don't get them accidentally folded under and then they get locked in. So you can see we have the top stitch. Last thing you're going to do is take a piece of thread, thread a needle, knot the end, and then you're going to pinch together that 4-inch gap, folding those fabrics into the inside. Just take your needle, and you can see in the pictures here how I've made it like a ladder stitch, going from one side and then go straight across to the other side, taking a stitch, come straight across, take a stitch. It looks like a ladder when it's closed, or when it's open, excuse me, and then when I close it and pull it tight, you can see how the stitching kind of hides in there. The last thing to do is to tie a knot and pull your thread tight as closely as you can to the fabric and trim your string, and you've just finished your bag. Whatever you don't get finished at home, I'll help you with next week.